Hey guys, this is CallanLoF with a new episode of Mock Advice, and as per last episode, I am taking requests, and this request, what I took and chose to do was custom heads, so that's what I'm going to talk about. Adjust the focus. Alright, so the first one I want to talk about is Vacama Hordica. I originally kind of talked with IDS 5621 about this head design when he was originally coming up with his Vacama Hordica mock. I had some ideas, my idea, which I did implement here, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment, but he did come up with a much, I think, an even better head design that I don't know how he did it, and so you should look at that. But I ended up replicating it so that I could use it in a video last week, and that's what I did. And my idea was with the standard Hordica head to try and use a T-piece and kind of wedge it in there and pressure it in there. Because our idea was that we thought that just the normal mask, it looks cool, but it doesn't exactly communicate the underjaw that the movie does. And so we messed around with that, and IDS 561 came up with this whole idea of using the hands. So that's all credit to him. I ended up just kind of replicating it and adjusting it with the kind of idea that I came up with as far as making a connection where there appeared to be none. So that's something that I would suggest keeping in mind when you're working on your own mocks. Try and look for connections that you can't really see or aren't immediately obvious, and try and use pressure to make them work. Obviously, there's my Callan. This is probably the one I'm most known for this as far as custom heads go. I've actually didn't originally intend it to be, but it kind of gives off sort of an eye slit appearance, and if you're doing a custom head for a mask, like all the examples so far, you can kind of mess around with how the eyes appear. And in this one, the eyes, with this close-up look, you can see the eyes do look different than your average Toa head, which is kind of neat, but at the same time, you also need to be wary if you are doing stop motion like I do, that an eye design like this won't have the light piping that will show up as well under most circumstances. So I would say in general, a standard head will help you with light piping as far as getting nice glow to your eyes for animation. But that's not exactly relevant. Either way, let's move on to this one. This one is just a kind of a quick little thing. I came up with this one when I got this mask for the first time because I was trying to mess around with connections, and it was ahead of 2015's BIONICLE line. I was trying to see how the mask could work, and so I made this little custom head to try and attach it, and it does work for my, it actually works as far as saving parts usage for my big Tahu, because you can just attach it right here, and it adds another level of head connection here. But here's the thing, if you are going to try and come up with custom adjustments for 2015 and 2016 Bionicle masks, you need to be wary about which ones you're doing it for, because this mask, this head design, works pretty well with the HOW, but it's basically designed for it alone. Here, let me slap it on some other ones to give you an idea. You can kind of make it work with this one and get an extra little shape there, but it looks very square, so you should probably mess around with that if you were going to do it for a standard protector helmet. And then, yeah, look at that. Not only does it wiggle, it looks a little goofy with the big square at the bottom. So always be wary about what you're doing with that. This one's a quick one, very simple, but you can get the idea that you can kind of fill the whole eyes with something as simple as this, and make it not even look like it's something slapped on like that, because this is a very easy thing to do when you have a ball socket connection for the neck to spin on. But here I tried to fill the whole eye with blue, and it ended up working out all right. So keep in mind ideas like that. Hopefully that was clear enough. And now I'm going to also talk about like mask attachments, just things you can do to edit the mask, and simple ways to make it look a little more creative. The easiest one to talk about is with Turaga Nuju's mask, because it has two holes in the mask that basically you can pressure in sticks in, and get a lot of creativity from that. People put spikes. I put an eye attachment for Davix, and this is my favorite one of doing a pair of glasses, big goofy goggly scientist glasses. But you also need to be aware that you also need to be aware how your edits can affect your pieces. And something that I have learned from past experience with this mask is that by doing this, you are wearing the holes out. And so it doesn't really affect the appearance of the mask, but eventually these will get really flippy and floppy and they won't be able to be pressured in that well. So you might have to replace it. That's just something to keep in mind. This one, there's not a lot to say other than I just tried to use a rubber band to kind of add a different color here and make it look a bit more creative. And also, I don't know, it ended up with almost like a Predator kind of look here, which I thought was kind of neat. And yeah, basically just take advantage of all your connection points, because this is not my particular favorite mask, but I was able to have a little bit of fun messing with it and using the connections that it has to make something that looks a little bit weird. And then this one was just kind of a throw-in. Yeah, you can do attachments. Take advantage of masks that have attachments. Basically the same lesson as that one. If you take advantage of the attachments, you can do pretty good things and make things look unique and different and suited to the thing that you're trying to do at that moment. So that's basically all I have to say about custom masks. I would really appreciate you guys watching, and I really appreciate you guys commenting and giving me new suggestions. Also thinking about maybe moving this to the second channel as originally intended, considering the slap together nature combined with, I think these are not as suited on this channel for stop motion reasons, because people are coming for the stop motions. So throw in ideas if you think that would be better in the comments. Also, heads up on stop motions, BIONICLE Undercover. Next week, I promise I will try and have it done. I just need to get the voice actors together. It's all filmed, so get excited for that, hopefully. That show, I'm getting excited for it. I've got a really solid idea for how I want the rest of it to play out, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Have a lovely day. This is CallanLoF. Goodbye.